By now, many are aware that the U.S. Army's UCP, or Universal Camouflage pattern, proved to be a colossal disaster that not only cost tons of money, but also put many wearers' lives in danger, as its colors pretty much stood out in most terrains, leading to it being retired in 2019 with OCP, or the Operational Camouflage pattern, replacing it. But now it must be asked, are there any conditions or situations where UCP could be worn effectively or just have the pattern make sense? Well, yes, urban environments are often mentioned as the colors seem to mimic many of the muted grays and tans one would encounter through various cities and larger density population areas. And this has been the case in a few examples where countries have adopted it for air forces, police and security personnel, or smaller special forces or rapid response units who would likely be operating in such areas. However, these are frequently on smaller scales, though one that seems to be on the rise and likely will continue to do so for a few reasons is that of science fiction media, i.e. television shows and films, due to its overall quasi-futuristic look. Obviously, quite a few examples out there are just portrayals of the U.S. Army, be it in a close to realistic or outright fictionalized version, of which there are large numbers of examples, but also cases of remnant or restructured units along with surplus and scrounge pieces, with a few of those examples being the various Army and militia units from Falling Skies, scattered Army and National Guard soldiers throughout the Walking Dead series, the forces of the Allied States of America from Jericho, and just assorted instances of soldiers dealing with zombies, aliens, the apocalypse, and so on. But then there's fully fictional forces that use the design in an original capacity, with a few cases being the Marines of the ill-fated Halo TV show, resistance forces throughout the Terminator franchise, granted these are often ragtag or mixed in with other patterns, sometimes being modified by way of it being dyed darker, and certain episodes of Black Mirror such as Season 3's Men Against Fire. Now, one could argue that any camouflage, especially urban ones, could be slotted into many of these examples, and in many ways this is true. However, it seems that UCP and similar digital patterns to it effectively hit many of the themes, ideals, or just feelings associated with science fiction stories, such as technological advancements, dystopian societies, horrifying scenarios and situations, apocalyptic environments, sleek and state-of-the-art aesthetics, questionable and overbearing entities or groups, and so on. This is likely due to the pixelated shapes and accompanying color palette, and even the first-generation ACU it was seen most commonly on being vastly different from previous uniform cuts, being touted as revolutionary and the next step in camouflage, with it even early on being showcased and tethered with many early 2000s future soldier systems and endeavors. So in a way, though it failed on the real-world battlefield, it, in many regards, fit perfectly in situations where those wearing it would have to go up against aliens, monsters, zombies, contagions, cataclysms, and robots. Plus, it honestly looks pretty good on camera. Considering that the market is now oversaturated with surplus bearing the pattern, it wouldn't be surprising that it makes its way into more productions over the next few years, be it untouched, heavily modified, or something in between.